Hi, I'm Tracy Clavin. I'm a high school teacher and I teach speech, drama, and English.
My name is Peter Howard.
My name is John Royal.
Hi, I'm Kimiko Warner-Turner, and I am a member of the Shakespeare and Social Justice Design Team.
Shakespeare is more alive, I think, in this curriculum, more part of the living world than is my typical experience, even in other really fun Shakespeare settings.
It's important to study social justice in our classes because most people aren't aware of it.
I use this activity, Quienes Somos, and we get to stand and we get to talk and we get to look at each other and we listen to each other's responses and we start feeling the room for our own humanity.
The intersection between social justice and Shakespeare comes in this realm of looking at the plays as representations of community. When I think about the collaborative aspects of theater making and the ways in which we have tried in the Shakespeare and Social Justice Initiative to sort of highlight opportunities for community building.
1, 2, ready, go. Love it, just like that. All right, so let's see what happens. Heads down, heads up, heads down. If you hear me say the word clap, I just want you to clap. We're all gonna see if we can clap together. Clap, love it, clap, clap, love it. All right, yeah. All right, good, and go. Stop, jump. I hope that young people can create a world that's intentional, that's about really intentionally being aware of who they are, what their identity is, but also make space for the identity of everyone else who's they're in relationship with in community.
How do other people demonstrate their loyalty and trustworthiness to you? We talked a little bit about friendship yesterday and what is important to you in a friend.
Shakespeare helped me see the humanity in people by the way they talk, the way that they communicate with one another. For me, when I read it, it was like a big journey for me. So when I started to uncover the journey of like Shakespeare and his stories, they kind of like influenced me and like seeing new ways, new possibilities, the way I see it in people.
I think personalities can be put not to the side, but together for the exploration of text.
And they get an opportunity to dive in and use a muscle to understand the text. They also understand that they can use that same muscle to understand each other.
Shakespeare helped me see the humanity in other people by being able to contemplate our values and our beliefs into our personal lives.
So if you have empathy and you assume good intentions, that sort of slogan that everybody slings around, is a beautiful thing, because if everyone walking in the room feels that they aren't having to be on guard in some way, then they can focus on the Shakespeare text.
Human beings have always been complicated, and it's really nice to have a way of talking about the complications of Shakespeare's characters in the context of the complications of this world. And so power relationships and privilege and the ability to have your way or get your way is very clear in the characters, and then it becomes clear in part of how students are understanding who the characters are and how they line up with their own experiences, their own world.
I think it's important to study social justice in school because in a way it helps us improve our critical thinking skills and just develop awareness about any injustice in our lives or even in our communities.
What comes to mind when they think of this phrase, social justice? 2 words come up so frequently in my experience. One, folks talk about fairness. And the other word that comes up all the time is power.
Shakespeare has taught me how powerful language can be. When we read the Julius Caesar, I heard words that I knew the meaning of, but the way it was used in the script, it just gave the word a completely different meaning.
I feel more justified in spending time with tertiary characters and taking those little tiny snippets of work and doing the English language paraphrasing of text and putting it in modern language and then putting it in their own slang so they can take ownership of it. If they can connect it to their own lives, it becomes so, I don't know, they stand up taller. Their posture changes. They own it.
Every character that's speaking, every character that is interacting on stage, this idea that we use this text and it's all action-based, if those actions are all about liberation consistently, Shakespeare is writing characters' liberation. That's what we're trying to live for through social justice and through a social justice lens.
When studying Shakespeare, I was lost in it. So for me to like understand it, I started thinking outside the box and, oh, how could I make a story about it? I added my own way into it.
They find joy in not only Shakespeare's text, but other hard texts that they may have tossed aside because they thought it was too difficult. It allows them to conquer a lot more.
The reason he keeps being produced over and over and over and over, and those of us who love his work know this already, is because he is so timely no matter what. No matter what's happening in the world, his work is just so timely.
Young people do care about creating a world that is more fair, where power is more evenly distributed, isn't arbitrary and held by people who don't deserve it. Then I think that even if someone's coming into this work with a feeling like, Shakespeare is not for me, or I wasn't into it last time I did it, why would I do it now? I think that this approach and thinking about social justice can be a way in for a lot of young people who are passionate about making the world better, but maybe not so passionate about Shakespeare.
The world I hope that students create when they study Shakespeare through this Shakespeare and social justice curriculum is a world that appreciates community.
Education could bring about that kind of community of people has been a part of the ethos of the Shakespeare Center.
One of the skills that this arms teachers with is a structured way to get from A to B to C.
That their voice has power to both build relationships and affect positive change in the world. To me, that's the beginning of a more just future in general for all of us.
Help students not only connect with their characters in a more meaningful way, but also to bring elements of their own selves to the roles that they play.
I think working with this curriculum helps empower teachers to use the framework of performance to support really nuanced and complex conversations about the nuanced and complex themes in these plays within the container of narrative and character.
If you can understand his work and you can perform it to get others to understand and enjoy his work, then you're really doing Shakespeare's work justice.